All right. Starting it off with Beer Belly Blues. Welcome to Inverted Reality TV. Live from the lounge, I'm your host, TL Swope. Good to see everybody tonight. How's everybody doing in the old chat? Feed having problems there, Steak 59, huh? Well, anyway, sometimes you have to do that, reset things. Well, anyway, we want to hit on some of the crazy things that gone on this week. Of course, you can't get past the gun thing and the school shooting, and it'll probably never end. And then you have the censorship, which is really beginning to get out of hand. And I think that the president or somebody's going to have to step in and do something with these particular social media platforms that are blatantly censoring conservative talk. It's just getting totally ridiculous. Some of the things that they're doing and the excuses they're giving for it. Hi there, Steak 59. You can call me TL. TL would do just fine. But it's getting so bad, the censorship. Shout out to Joe Mack out there, my main mod. But the censorship is getting ridiculous. I've just got a few little things that I want to put up for you guys to check out. Let me get this up for you. A couple of articles that I found. I'm just kind of hit on them a little bit to give you an idea of what's going on. Here's one here that's on Breitbart. I got a couple of them actually. Let me get it up here. And okay, where are we at here? We're at the wrong one. For some reason we got a bit of a snafu here. Let's see. Rapper 10,000. Have I heard about the mom? What is that? I can't see all of that here because it's the white is blending in with the back of our microphone there. The mom demand action groups who push for more gun control laws. Okay. When they have not. Oh, yeah. Have not hold or know how to use them. Yeah. Yeah, the gun control stuff is totally out of hand. In fact, since you guys are bringing it up, we'll go ahead and hit on that one first. The gun control stuff, blaming the NRA, it's ridiculous because the NRA defends the Second Amendment and our rights to bear arms. And no one's talking about all the people who have and continually save lives, even with the so-called assault rifles, which aren't assault rifles. I mean, you can look up the definition of assault weapon. And it's a rapid fire. It's an automatic fire weapon. And these weapons, like the Bushmasters and the AR-15s, they're semi-automatic, so they're not assault weapons. And so to get around that, to keep the same negative connotation, if you look at some of the articles, they will say now assault style weapons. Um, Last I heard, the style of something does not make it illegal. It's what it does that makes the difference, not how it looks. But see, they want to keep that assault in there, even though it's not an assault weapon. They want to say assault style now. So they're good at playing on the words. They know how to use things to try to manipulate people, and they'll continue to do so because the UN is behind this. Actually, the UN has been pushing for disarmament of the citizens of the world for decades now. It was in their charter. In fact, they used to have a statue, if you would call it that, of like a 357 with the barrel tied in a knot. Now, a 357 is not an automatic weapon. It's not even a semi-automatic. It's a revolver. But yet they have the barrel tied in a knot. But see, that's the end game. That's the way this thing works. First, we get a crack. We chip away at it. We start out with the assault style weapons. And then from there, we'll go down to the long rifles. Then we'll go down to the handguns until there's no guns. And that's the way that works. And we're talking about, let's see what else to say, rapper. We need to talk more about the mental health. The mental health, I made a crack on the last live show. I was speaking with, I'm trying to think, I think it was Liz up in Canada. And we're talking about teachers. And I was talking about the mental health of the teachers, and I just read an article the other day about some teacher that pulled out a handgun in his class, and they said that this dude had been, before raving and acting like he was on something. I mean, that's what I mean. Mental illness is rampant in this country, and if you don't have guns, they're going to use something else. A person that's dead set on killing is going to find a way to do it. Look at the countries that don't have guns. I said it a while back, years ago, over in the UK, they were trying to ban steak knives. That's how ridiculous this goes because, you take away guns, they're going to use knives, they're going to use cars, they're going to use bombs, use whatever they get their hands on. Define weapons of war and try. That's all they want to do. They want to say, well, there's why would an individual need to have something that's used in combat? Well, a semi-automatic weapon is not used in combat. I mean, they got full auto. You can shoot semi-automatic, but they've got full auto also. So. And the bottom line is, it doesn't make any difference what kind of gun you have. A gun is a gun. They all can kill. And if you take away one, you may as well take away all of them. Yeah, Steak 59. I mean, it got so ridiculous over in the UK that I believe it was the House of Commons. They actually brought some type of bill or something up to ban steak knives. Okay, what do? Ban everything that somebody kills with? Look how many deaths are caused by automobiles every day. I mean, probably, I would say at least probably 50 people die a day all over this country because of some type of vehicular accident. Is anybody running around trying to ban Ford and GM and Chrysler and stop cars? No, because it's ridiculous. The cars do not kill anybody by themselves. Well, these new ones may, the ones they want with no drivers pretty soon, but most of the time that's not the case. It takes somebody behind the wheel to do that. Yeah, rapper. Yep, Israel, they do have their teachers armed. Exactly. And Kentucky was the first state to arm the teachers, and now several different areas in Texas have just done it. And see, the leftists don't want that because they're afraid that it might work, and then they have no more incidents that they can go running around screaming with their hair on fire, talking about we need to get rid of these guns. See, they like that stuff. They always want to pretend that, we care about the students and we care about the immigrants. We care. No, they don't. Only thing they care about is votes and their agenda, which is to overthrow President Trump, get these leftists in, push socialism to the metal, get rid of our guns so we won't have any way to fight back. Yeah, more people died from punches and kicks in a year than rifles. That wouldn't surprise me. What do I think about the IRA statement on the media thrives off of mass, the NRA, excuse me, statement that the media thrives off of mass shootings for ratings? Yes, they do, but ignores the shootings in cities like Chicago. Of course they do, because in Chicago, we know that that is a Democrat stronghold. So they don't want to bring that up because that reflects back on the control that the Democrats have had on Chicago for decades. But mass shootings, oh, we can bring every child on, we can bring every parent on, and we can go into the stories of how this one's gonna do this and do that, and all of that's fine and good, and I don't have a problem with that, but I do have a problem with why they're doing it, and it's about exploitation and ratings, and they proved that before when they made statements about other things that were going on in the world, and they were like happy to get off of those stories and wanted to get right back on something about Trump because they knew that was what was the ratings were about. So it's really screwed up. To be honest with you, totally screwed up. What is that? If they get a footing in this year's elections, Trump will be gone before the votes are fully counted. hey, hey, I tell you what, they don't want to release all of that data, uh, where all of these dead people and people voting 20 times, like Obama said, vote early and vote often. That's the Democrats' credo. Obama had every opportunity to address the shootings and lack of fathers in the black community in cities like Chicago, but he did nothing. Yeah, that's true. Powerful, of course. Typical black behavior. The Democrats, that's what they scream when something lines up with their agenda. They scream with it, but all the other issues they have nothing to say about. Like I just did a video earlier, right before the stream, about the NBA promoting this black national anthem. It's like, and the guy who's got something to do with it. I guess either he wrote it or his brother wrote it. One of them, because one of them wrote it and the other one made it into a song. Apparently, from the article that I read in the video. he's talking about how it's uplifting people and making them feel better about themselves and about the game of basketball. And I'm like, you're talking about this song when we got black people killing each other off like flies. The crime is through the roof. The illegitimacy in the black community, the unwed mothers, the poverty, the lack of education, and he's using his platform to talk about a song that he has something to do with. It's amazing to me. We're running around talking about we need us a black anthem. What is it called? I keep forgetting the Negro National Anthem. Like I said in the video, you got countries, UK, Canada, France, Germany, all of these countries, all of these nations, they have their anthems, just like we do. But Negroes have no country. There is no Negro country. There is no, so there's no reason to have a Negro national anthem. That's the point of my video. It makes no sense to me. There's a whole lot of other things that need to be worried about. It's just that is as bad to me as running around screaming and protesting over a statue. A rock that's been sitting there for sometimes hundreds of years. And that's what's causing all your problems. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Remember, thoughts and prayers go out to the families, but Orlando and the terrorist attacks did not express any outrage nor action. Trump shooting action. Steak 59. Obama loves gay people than anybody else. It would not surprise me if he loves gay anthems. Is that right? Thank you, Steak 59. What makes you say, wow? I mean, I don't feel that there's anything really special about them. It's just that, hey, I just speak to the truth. I'm a realist. I've never been one to follow the crowd. I look at stuff. I use critical thinking, and I say, I smell a rat, and then I investigate. And usually, when I smell a rat, I end up finding one. Sometimes several rats. And so I just don't swallow all of that stuff. And so 1961, Obama and Rahm Emanuel had a chance to fire the illegal immigrants working at Chicago's Clover Hill Bakery, but they did nothing. Of course, they did nothing. That's the whole thing. They care nothing. Obama gets up there, was talking about all of this, black this and black that, but what did he do for them? What did he do for us? Nothing. And I say them because I don't expect him or didn't expect him to do anything for me. I am a man and I'm capable. And, I don't need Obama or any other black so-called savior or Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and the like to do anything for me. That is, if they would or could do anything for me. But they won't, and they don't, and they haven't, and they will not. So therefore, it's just a moot point. BLM is outraged over a gorilla statue at a playground, calling it racist. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all. The one video I did where they were calling trees racist. So a gorilla does not even bother. I mean, that surprises me very little. Actually, it didn't surprise me at all. You know, when a tree can be a racist, you know a gorilla's got to be a super racist, you know. Yeah, see, they're outraged over a gorilla statue, but they're not outraged over all the drive-bys. They're not outraged over all the burglaries, the robberies, the rapes, the assaults. Not outraged by any of that. It's that statue of that gorilla there. That did it. Now that's got to go. Snake 59, which one are you talking about? The racist video or oh yeah, that's another one too. They don't talk about abortion. That's more deaths than anything right there. Of course they're not gonna bring that up. They're probably getting money from the abortion industry to shut up. Oh yeah, yeah, that was amazing on the trees. Yep. Yeah, Harambe the gorilla has better parents than those so-called single mothers. Hey, I can't say that I don't agree with you. I've seen some stuff myself, and some of these videos I've seen on YouTube is just it's amazing. It truly is amazing. Is and nobody even talks about it. It's considered, you know, well, you know, in a way, why should I even be surprised when women are on TV saying that men don't have to have a penis to be a man and a woman doesn't have to have a vagina to be a woman? I mean, when you hear that, how can you be shocked about anything else? Like I said, mental illness is rampant. It's rampant. It's went mainstream. Yes, sir. So when you look at all of this gun control crap, like I said, the UN uh, has been after the guns for a long time. Let me see if I can find something on this here. Maybe I can find something to show you guys. Um, okay, here. Let's see you. These images here. Just show you here real quickly. Here's some images here. You see at my search terms, UN gun statue. And that's a 357 Magnum there tied into a knot. But they don't want your guns. They don't want your handguns. Uh, you know, they don't want your handguns at all. Uh, they just want your assault weapons, your assault style weapons. That's what they want. They don't want your handguns. You know, we want those semi-automatic. We want those automatic weapons. You know, that's what we want. Give them to me. Give them to me. Hey, Robert, just call me TL. It'd be a lot easier than all that at Inverted Reality TV. Also, I think that the family should sue both the Parkland School Police. Exactly. The Parkland Police, the school, and the FBI. I mean, again, here we go. The FBI always seem to be watching somebody that's on psychotropic drugs, that's got mental issues, that's violent, that's acting strange, that's had problems interacting with other people or agencies or organizations, and they just sit there and they let it happen. I can't say this for sure, but I think that these people are leftover Obama plants in the top echelons of the department, and they want this stuff to happen because they know when it happens, what exactly are the Democrats, all the rest of them, going to do? The same usual suspects: Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Waters, the whole gang. All of them are going to come out. They know that. And nothing gets people more sensitive than to see kids being hurt. And they know that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've got other ones out there that they've been watching that they know are candidates for this, and they're just sitting back letting it happen and not intervening. Yes, they want us unarmed. That is the key. That's what they're after. They are after our guns. No doubt about it. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton was after them. People seem to forget about all of that. They tried it. It didn't work. See, they do this stuff all up under the policy of treaties. That's how they did NAFTA. That's how they get us to sell our sovereignty and everything out. They use these treaties to hide. It's a cloak on what they're actually doing. Here's an article here by the New York Times. UN Arms Trade Treaty gives away rights of Americans. And that's what they want. Now, this is the Washington Times, and they are by no means conservative friendly. And this is an article dated December the 15th, 2016. And says here, another of President Obama's brazen acts as he leaves office is a parting shot at American gun owners by submitting the UN Arms Treaty to the U.S. Senate for ratification. For the uninitiated, the term refers to turning around in your saddle as you ride away from a losing battle and firing your last round at your enemy. Here we go here. Says here, the proposed ATT gave them the opportunity they had been waiting for, a legally binding treaty imposing regulation and conditions on the transfer and maybe possession of any weapon from a pistol to a battleship. As incredible as it seems, the UN Human Rights Commission has already interpreted it lack of gun control as a human rights issue. The treaty is now in effect and the United States has signed it. So there you go. That's the type of stuff that's going on. See, there's a whole lot of things going on in the background that nobody sees. They see the kids, they see the Democrats, they see this, but what they don't see and nobody's talking about, the media is not talking about, is that who's behind this? Who really wants the guns? It's the UN, United Nations. They spoke about it decades ago, about disarming the whole world, and they said America was going to be the hardest place to do it, but they would figure it out and do it through treaties. So Obama tried his best to do what he could to help make that happen. Yeah. And that was from 2016. So who knows what they're doing now? I mean, these people have United Nations have let pedophiles come and speak before them now because they're tired of being stereotyped and their sensitivity. They're following the same playbook as the homosexuals did. So they want to go mainstream and be able to make love to little boys. Let's see, the rapper, public schools misdiagnoses kids' mental illness just to make their jobs easier and leads to the mental breakdown. Yeah, and on top of that, think about all of the kids that are coming up on the Ritalin and all of these type of SRIs, these serotonin reuptake inhibitors. These mind altering drugs that cause people to get violent and have suicidal tendencies and things. They know exactly what they're doing. And then these kids that are on these drugs, they turn around and play video games. And I mean, machine guns, chopping heads off, and all of this stuff. And you mix that together, and it's just a matter of time. You're going to have these things pop up. And that's what they want. That's what they want. They don't want to talk about, but no, the Republicans don't want to talk about mental illness. They don't want to talk about the people failing the system, or they don't want to talk about the people who saw all the signs, all the times the police went to this guy's house, all the things that were going on. They don't want to talk about any of that. It's all the National Rifle Association's fault. They did it. So that's the way they do business. But we got to keep the fight up. We can't back down. And here's the other thing here. I want to talk to you about this censorship that's just getting outrageous. YouTube's doing it. YouTube's even shutting down people's live streams. It is just getting ridiculous. And I said, we need some oversight here. We need an investigation because I don't care. They say that they're a private business and they can regulate or say who allowed to say what or whatever. Well, those Christians that baked that cake, they weren't allowed not to be able to sell a cake to something that violated what they thought was right with their religious beliefs, hell, but they had to do it, had to pay the price. So why is there a double standard? Why should these social media platforms get to let one side have all the airtime and shut everybody else down? No, they're too big now. They're way too big to allow that, and something needs to be done about it. Where are all the fathers marching for their rights to see their kids? Fatherless homes contributes to crime and lack of moral values in the child. Sure it does. Well, father's not worrying about that. The majority of them have a hard enough time trying to survive themselves. Usually they'll go find another hoochie mama or somewhere to lay up on, some other woman that's getting some government assistance or maybe even has a job. He cons his way up in there, and I've seen it here, where he drives the woman to work, and he comes back home, he smokes pot and gets high and eats up all the food with his friends, and sometimes even bring other women over while the woman's at work, and then go picks her up. That's the con game. These guys, they find these women like that. Apparently they've got low self-esteem because, I wouldn't as a man, I wouldn't let a woman do me like that. So a woman's standard, if you ask me, should be even higher. I don't understand it. But then again, when you have women that go and buy music from rappers that calls them bees and hoes, I'm not going to pay money to have somebody call me derogatory names. Yeah. I guess I am just too old school. You know. Mm. Yeah, as a conservative, I say we need our own platforms because in the end, you can't force them to be fair. Yeah, that's true. But the problem is I don't know why people aren't investing. I guess there's some, you got Gab, AI, and you know, when you get used to an outfit like YouTube or something, it's really hard for something a startup to even get close to competing and having the same type of quality and everything that you're looking at. But nevertheless, it needs to be started. Somebody needs to do it, and we need more of it. And there's definitely the market and the money is out there. What is that? Feminist runs everything. Hashtag feminist run everything. Look at how yeah, sure did. Merkel did run Germany. Yep, sure did. And one day they do that. One way they do that is through censorship. A lot of people over there were complaining, but when they start talking about if you criticize Islam, you're going to jail. I mean, there's people proposing that same type of legislation right here in America. Uh, and I'm just saying, where's the outrage? You don't wait till the fire is in your house. When you see it coming, you get out there and you stop it in the brush before it gets to your house. You don't wait till it get in your house to start trying to put it out. This censorship is worldwide. It is. And Google and Facebook and all these guys, Twitter, they're the big dogs, and they're controlling all of this stuff. Let me show you here just a couple of headlines here. Another one from Breitbart, and it talks about YouTube moves toward banning conservative vlogger for correcting Parkland shooting conspiracy theory. Now here's a YouTuber named Ashton Whitty. It says conservative YouTube commentator Ashton Whitty has been further sanctioned on the platform after she criticized the unverified claims of a Parkland student. Now, here's a woman that's criticizing claims that were made from somebody that was unverified, and she got brought down, and here's her email. As you may know, our community guidelines describe which content we allow and don't allow on YouTube. Your video, Florida shooting, parents teach your children, was flagged for review. Upon review, we determined it violates our guidelines. We removed it from YouTube and assigned a community guideline strike or temporary penalty to your account. I guess I'll get a strike for talking about her getting a strike for talking about somebody who made unverified claims. And she says here, apparently on Twitter, just one day after YouTube puts my video back up, they take another down. It's almost as if someone's targeting me. YouTube is targeting conservative channels, saying our community is bullying, yet they allow Southern Poverty Law Center to hunt us like rabbits, strip away our voices like skin, and grill anyone slightly right of Karl Marx with the term fascist, claimed Whitty in an email to Breitbart Tech. When YouTube or any other large platform targets me, it doesn't so much scare me. If anything, it makes me angry, and I let that anger motivate me. And bravo to her. I feel the same way. And she goes on talking about growing up in Berkeley, and they said that Breitbart says they don't know if YouTube will reinstate her video as they did the last and remove the channel strike. But yeah, and InfoWars also, they're getting strikes. They're trying to take them down. Alex Jones. And then you've got another one here. The Purge, YouTube mass censors conservatives, new right classical liberals. Mike Cernovich here. and he was commenting on an Antifa protester making death threats, and he got let's see what happened to him. I think he got shut down. Company's commenting right by news. Okay. Yeah, he got a community guideline strike there. And then we've got Google here shutting down Sargon of Akkad. Google account disabled. And I think they locked him out where he couldn't get access to his stuff. That's the type of stuff that's going on, folks. I mean, this is China censorship. And look, it even goes to our president. Here it is now. Facebook. They changed their algorithm and in the last 6 months, and President Trump's engagements has went down 45% because of the change in the algorithm. None of the other people, the Democrats, none of them were affected in the same manner. You looked at Elizabeth Warren and Sanders, and theirs went down, but very little compared to what President Trump's did, in which he had a lot more to lose because he had a way bigger following. So that's what's going on, folks. That's what's going on. You have to you have to organize or do something. I mean, you got to get people together. We got to make people aware. I know some people are brain dead. They've watched so much TV. It's hard to get to them, but you got to keep trying. This is truly, like Alex Jones said, it's an info war. It's information warfare, and they're trying to dominate it. They can't. So they're trying to completely shut us down because they're losing, and they know they're losing. Let's see. The rapper, 10,000 there is proof that CNN scripted those. Exactly. I've seen videos, scripted those kids to say anti-gun narratives. There's a video that has a guy touching his ear during the interview, waiting for the next. Yep, exactly. I saw that too. That's what's going on. So if any of you guys feel like you want to call in, feel free. The number's on the crawl. 812-205-2704. 812-205-2704. For anyone who would like to call in, I would love to hear from you. Oh, yeah, Joe Mack. The rant about the soul food problem. Oh, come on, man. Black people get mad when black people fix them food that they know black people eat. You can't win. I mean, you cannot win. You know, black people eat ribs and cornbread and watermelon and all that stuff. You know, I made a comment about that video. ABL did that, and you know, what's next? You know, Germans can't eat brats, and Chinese people, Asian people can't eat rice no more, and you know, Hispanic or Latinos, they can't have tacos and burritos. You know, what's next? Ay ay ay. It's insane. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they're worrying about Kool-Aid and everything. It's amazing what these people will squawk and scream about every little thing, but, you know, they're not squawking about those chemtrails, about the geoengineering that you look up in the morning and you see the sky looking like tic-tac-toe with the barium and aluminum and the salts and everything that they're raining down on us, causing respiratory problems and all kinds of stuff from incontinence to uh, uh, impotence and who knows what else. Nobody's protesting any of that. Nobody's protesting our polluted water full of fluoride and all kind of chemicals, and nobody's protesting any of that. Nobody's protesting all the pesticides and herbicides and all the other things that are put into our soils and it goes into our food. Nobody's protesting that. We're protesting rocks, statues. We're protesting ribs. Ribs, mind you. Oh, now wait a minute, Steak 59. You say you drink watermelon infused water all the time. Now you will be accused of cultural misappropriation. And for that, you will go to the dungeon. Yep. You'll go to the dungeon where you will be lectured. You will be lectured and you'll be taught the way of the masters. You ought to know better than that. If anybody wants to call in again, the number is 812-205-2704. Go ahead and call on in. I ain't mad at you. Yet. Oh, Joe Mack making watermelon milkshakes, man. You better be careful. They might see this video and hunt you down. They'll be outside your house with placards demanding you cease and desist from your watermelon milkshakes because it's causing microaggressions. And they're having spasms and they need to be medicated and brought to the safe space and be coddled. How dare you misappropriate? Oh, yes, Jerry Brown. Super nut. That's all I can say for him. He's a super nut. This guy is Looney Tunes on steroids. Yeah. How many thousand of the article said something? What was it that they have? Nearly 60,000 homeless now, or something like that. They can't even take care of what they got, but they say, "Hey, come on, bring some more. Come on in. We're just getting started. We ain't broke yet, but we're trying to get there as fast as we can." Yeah. We're trying to get there as fast as we can. I'm trying to find something about the old. Well, I could find something here about the old homeless deal. And I saw something where it was nearly like over 58,000, something like that, 58,000 plus homeless out there in California. And it's ridiculous. And they want to tell all these illegals to come in and join the party. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. The call-in number is 812-205-2704. Again, 812-205-2704. Uh-oh. I think I'm almost missing someone here. Caller 770, you're there. Hello? Hello? Caller 770, you're on. Hello? Okay. 770. Well, maybe you might want to call back. I don't know what's going on there, but got to let you go. Oh, well. That's kind of weird. Okay. 770, you're on.
Oh, well.
Hello?
That's kind of weird.
You need to turn your speaker down.
Okay. 770, you're on. Oh, well. Hello?
Hello?
That's kind of weird. You need to turn your speaker down. Okay.
Hello?
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 Yes. Who am I speaking with? Apparently, I don't know what's going on with his setup, whoever that was, but first of all, whenever you call in, you've got to have your speakers down. Always, when you call in on any kind of radio or anything over the internet like that, you can't have your speakers blaring because you get a terrible echo. Second of all, it sounded like your connection was okay, but I don't know what was going on. My end is muted. Answer. Okay, try it again. Was that Ansel that had called? If it was, try it again. It could have been one of my settings here that could have been the problem, but I could hear you just fine. Okay, 770, you're on.
Yeah, hey, how you doing? This is better now.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, because earlier when it made the beat, I couldn't hear anything on your end.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
But anyway, what I wanted to talk about, I don't know if you already discussed it, was the tariff announcements that President Trump made today about the steel and aluminum industries.
Oh yeah.
And and in my opinion, and just in my opinion, see, I'm not in that business, but in my opinion, from the outside looking in, I think it's a good thing for the employees or potential employees in this country. I think it would create more jobs if in the steel and the aluminum industries.
Well, yeah. Anytime that you level out the playing field, because I mean they are undercutting everybody and making it so cheap that it was literally killing us here in America. So by putting these tariffs on there, then okay, now they can't come in here and sell that stuff so cheap. So then that makes us more competitive here at home.
And see, that's the way I view it too. But as you know, CNN is trying to they're trying to twist it in a way like, oh, Trump is going to start a trade war, and look, the Dow is down, the stock market is down because Trump made this announcement. And they're totally ignoring the fact that the stock market goes up and down. I mean, it always goes up, but you're going to have dips. It's like a roller coaster.
Exactly.
And they're trying to make it sound like, like, oh, this is terrible. He's starting a trade war, where they know, and people who invest know, that whenever the stock market dips, that's the best time to buy, because they know it's going to go back up.
That's right.
And it just seems to me like certain media outlets like CNN and some of these other, MSNBC, it just seems to me like they are really anti-United States. Like they don't want people to do better in this country.
They don't. You see, you pick up on something that's totally true, and that's what people don't realize, is that these are no more than mouthpieces for the socialist agenda. They hate America as a great nation, a great, powerful nation. They want it to fail. See, what people don't understand. When Obama was schooled in the ways of Saul Alinsky, the Democrat socialist, who was nothing more than a cultural Marxist. And one of his tenements was, in his book, Rules for Radicals, he talked about how to overload the government with all types of programs and things that they couldn't afford. And that's what Obama did. People said Obama was stupid. No, he wasn't. He knew exactly what he was doing. That's why he brought all those programs on. That's why he gave out all that money. That's why he did all those things. His job was to wreck this economy, because once he killed off the capitalism, then socialism was supposed to slide in and be the new utopia, you see. And since Hillary, everything was set up for her, the cheating and the rigging and everything else. So the party was already set. The table was laid, the knives and forks, the dinnerware was there, And then here come President Trump, and Trump come in there and blew the whole party up, man.
Exactly.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
And he was leading up to the presidential election. When he would go to the rallies, when he would hold his rallies, he would say, "Hey, if I become president, I'm going to shut down on all of this imported steel. I'm going to shut down on this and that. And if I have to, I'm going to put tariffs on them so I can put American people back to work." He said this, and that's what the people wanted. That's why he was elected. And like one of the steel executives, one of the CEOs from a steel company, he was on TV today saying that they're opening a new plant in Sedalia, Missouri. They're going to open up a new steel plant in Florida somewhere. And see, that's American jobs.
Right.
And see, that's what I don't get about these liberal media outlets. If the companies are saying, due to an action that due to something that Trump is doing, we're going to be able to create jobs for Americans. I don't see how they can say that that's a bad thing. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like they don't want people to be employed.
They don't. Listen. They will not give President Trump credit for anything. Nothing. I don't care how good it is. They're going to find a way to twist it and make it seem bad. I mean, if he went around and gave everybody in the country $100 bill, they would say, look at his ego. Look at his narcissism. This man, the only reason he's doing it is because he wants people to look up to him. That just shows he's got mental illness. That's what he couldn't just be wanting to just bless everybody with $100. People who are hurting and poor or down on their luck. He couldn't just want to do that. No, he's got to have an evil intent behind it, And it gets old. It really does get old when all they do is talk about him, laugh at him, mock him. And that's another tenement in Saul Alinsky's playbook. He said you take your opponent or your enemy, you polarize them. And he said you use ridicule. He said that's the greatest arsenal in man's possession is ridicule. And look what they've done constantly, from Saturday Night Live to all the talk shows to the View, to everybody. It's cracking jokes. It's, little hands, red man, orange man, just constant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Calling him an orangutan. And
yeah.
No, now they can get away with calling him an orangutan, but if somebody said Obama looked like a monkey, then it's racist.
Oh man!
But okay, and then just one more thing. Yeah, and just one more thing. Earlier, I had made a comment about the Clover Hill Bakery up in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, black employees at that factory, at that bakery, they had called ICE. They had notified ICE when Obama was president and said, "Hey, look, there are illegal immigrants working at this factory." And I went in and investigated, sent the information on up the chain, and nothing happened.
Of course not.
All right. That was under the Obama administration. And then Trump was elected. Black employees called up ICE, said, "Hey, is there illegal immigrants working at this factory?" And then ICE went in there and just, shut it all down and said, "Hey, look, you got to get these illegal immigrants out of there." And then the illegal immigrants were replaced with mostly black people, which means that was the black community in Chicago.
Right.
Okay. And, you got black people, they're back at work, but they still try to. Now, Obama didn't do anything for them when he was in charge, but now that Trump's in charge, the black people got put back to work. And they still try to paint him as a racist. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to hang up and listen to your commentary about the tariffs and stuff like that. And I like your show.
Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
All right. You do the same. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter what Trump does. It doesn't matter. They're going to find a way to slander and malign him. And it's ridiculous. It really is. And anybody that's got any common sense can see right through all of this and know that the media is totally biased and crooked, and everything he says about them is pretty much true. It's pretty much true, because all they do is make up lies, and they won't receive the truth. They won't give them credit for anything. And when Nancy Pelosi gets up there and talks about crumbs, people getting $1,000 bonuses at Christmas time and getting pay raises, and she says it's crumbs. Now, I guarantee you, if that been a Democrat president up there and that happened, oh man, they'd have been parading like the old Looney Tune cartoons when all of them parade across the streams, lean back with their hats off and everything. They'd have been grandstanding. But of course not, because no, Trump did it. They don't want people to be self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency, what that does, it makes people, especially if they start becoming entrepreneurs and starting their own businesses, when you're in business for yourself, you don't want to pay taxes. You're trying to avoid taxes, so you're looking for all the breaks that the IRS provides, and you're looking to keep your taxes as low as possible. So when people start getting themselves in an entrepreneurial mindset and stop being poor and the old Democrat Party plantation mindset, well, then they say, hey, I can't continue to vote Democrat because all they want to do is tax. Look what they're doing out there in LA and in California. Tax. They're running all the corporations out of there, all the regulations. They're leaving there in droves. Now they got, nearly 60,000 homeless people there, drugs, mental illness, crime, just it's a cesspool. It's horrible. And they're still wanting to bring more, and they're still regulating more, and they're still raising taxes, and more people are leaving. If left alone at the rate California is going, in another 5 years, the whole place will implode, if not sooner. That's what they like. See, that's what socialism does. Socialism spends all of everybody's money and takes all your money, and then the more you give, the less you get. Until there's nothing left except for the people at the top that's running the show, and the middle class is totally gone, and then you have a bunch of serfs at the bottom. I remember a story years ago I saw, I think it was on NPR or something. Not NPR, but one of the PBS shows, and they did a thing on Cuba. And they showed these people lining up every month to get their food in American dollars from the little store. And they would give them rum and bring in like a Cuban musicians. And that was their entertainment. They would bring these bands in and give them their little rum. And the people were just like, so happy. And that was it. I mean, otherwise they're still riding around like in a Twilight Zone in 1940s and 50s cars. There's no innovation. There's no creativity. I mean, there is none, because the government controls everything. It is private. It's the private sector that creates and fosters ingenuity and creativity and jobs and new products, not government. That's why they're still riding around in old cars, old 40s and 50s and stuff. It's like a time warp or something. But, that's socialism. That's socialism, communism, schmommunism. I mean, one and the same. They're one and the same. They're so closely related, they're synonymous with one another, so that's the way it is. That's the way it is. So if anybody else wants to call in, the number is 812-205-2704. 812-205-2704. Looks like it is about 7:11 Central Standard Time. So we've got 49 minutes, something like that, left on the stream. So is there anything in particular that's on anybody's mind in the chat that you would like me to pontificate on, or? Okay, let's see what we got here. This is interesting here. So it's got an article here on Breitbart that says Trump could be pulling a gun control rope-a-dope. For those of you who may not know what a rope-a-dope is, it was made famous by Muhammad Ali, where he was, I forgot who he was fighting the first time he did it, but basically he would just lay on the ropes and ball up and let the opponent hit him until they got tired out. And then once the opponent got tired out, then he would come out and knock the opponent out. That was his strategy. In fact, here, let me get this up for you guys. Let you take a look at it. That Donald Trump could be pulling a gun control rope-a-dope. As President Trump spent time stacking gun bill upon gun bill Wednesday, it was impossible to avoid thinking he might be setting up the Democrats via a gun control rope-a-dope. For those too young to remember, the rope-a-dope was a tactic invented and used by Muhammad Ali. It was a way he made his opponents believe he had no fight left in him, so that they in return would punch wildly and wear themselves out. Ali would back up against the ropes, put up his guard, and let his opponent land blow after blow after blow. The opponent in return would grow confident of victory and risk recklessness. The unacquainted sports fan would watch in disbelief as the great Ali appeared close to going down, while the seasoned Ali fan eagerly awaited the moment when Ali would drop the charade and beat his opponent into submission. Article goes on to say that moment could come at the height of the opponent's the moment would come at the height of the opponent's confidence, which happened to coincide with the point where the opponent had spent his energy punching an Ali who was really not tired after all. Ali would then grin, start punching, and win the match. A better analogy for what President Trump may be doing to the Democrats right now is hard to imagine. After all, he campaigned against expanding background checks, yet he showed interest in Senator Joe Manchin's background check gun controls and asked Manchin to put them forward. Interesting. Interesting. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that, was it George Foreman? Oh, okay. I knew it was one of them, one of the big greats that he first did it to. But what do you guys think? Do you think that President Trump could be pulling a gun control rope-a-dope? Do you think he could be just setting up the Democrats? You know, that kind of crossed my mind earlier, you know, because I tell you, these people call President Trump stupid. They're ignorant. That man is brilliant. I mean, look what he did. I mean, look what he's doing against all the opposition and everything and government agencies and fake Republicans and all these people, and he's still winning. You've got to be brilliant to do that. And I think part of his brilliance is to kind of act like he's bumbling to throw people off, to set them up, and then he gets them later. So what do you guys think about that? And if you'd like to call in, the number to call is 812-205-2704. Don't be bashful. I don't bite very hard. Okay. So does anybody out there think that old Prez is pulling a fast one, or is he or you think he's serious? Do you think he's really changing his tune? Can everybody hear me out there? Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Ansel. He defeated 17 Republican opponents. In fact, seasoned opponents. All of them except Ben Carson, who was a doctor. All the rest of them were seasoned politicians. Beat them all. Then he beat the most crooked politician of all. The most savvy, evil, crooked, insidious, beat her. And she spent all that money. And he spent maybe a fifth of what she did. Thank you, Joe. So there you go. But yet they want to call him an idiot. This I'll give you an idea of how ridiculous this stuff is. I said this before, but it bears repeating. I back when Trump was running, right after he became president, I went into a Dollar General store to pick up something, and it was a little young black lady there at the counter, and some kind of way something came up, and she said something about that idiot that we've got in the White House. And I just looked at her. There she was sitting there working a part-time job, probably making about $7 or $8 an hour. And she's calling a multi-billionaire with properties all over the world, skyscrapers in the largest cities of the world, golf courses. He's an idiot. That's what I find amazing. These people are living in another reality because they don't even see themselves. They think that they're great. If he's an idiot, then what does it make her? I mean, she's sitting there being worked to death, one register open, lines all the way to the back of the building. She's making peanuts, stressed out, and then calling President Trump an idiot. But see, they're good at that. Again, the wonderful leftists of love. See, they're inclusive and loving. And don't believe in anybody be bullying. You can't say things because you might cause a microaggression and everything, but they can throw out all types of evil, hateful stuff. And it's okay. It's okay when they do it. Anytime. So if you want to call in, the number is 812-205-2704. Again, the number is 812-205-2704. We are talking about President Trump, censorship, gun control, and any other thing that might be on your mind. Something you want to get off your chest, or breast if you're a woman. I want to make sure that I'm totally inclusive here. I don't want to say that I'm just discriminating against anyone. Yeah, I hear you, Joe Mack. Yeah, Joe Mack says, yeah, wish I was an idiot like President Trump. Yeah. I mean, I just enjoy being an idiot like him for a day. Just go hang out on down at Mar-a-Lago or something, for a day and be an idiot, Most of these people are just jealous of what he's accomplished. That's the problem. Ah, Miss Sue, how are you? Girl, Sue, I guess I don't know if you saw the topics in the comment section or show notes. It's kind of the main topics we're talking about, but it's not etched in stone. If you got something else you want to bring up, you can do so at your will. I remind everybody again, the number to call is 812-205-2704. So, Sue, I know you must have something on your mind. You're just getting here. You should be fresh. Let's see what we got here. Well, for those of you connoisseurs out there, or connoisseurs of great cuisine, it looks like KFC is now out of gravy. Apparently that's in the UK, I believe. Or is it here? Yep, it's in the UK. KFC ran out of chicken in the UK and caused a firestorm. And it looks like they had gotten the chicken thing resolved, and now they're out of gravy. But at least the gravy is not forcing any additional closures. I just kind of wonder if KFC is doing this on purpose to create a artificial scarcity. So when they do get it, everybody just piles up to get some. Who knows? You never know anymore. All of these different things, employees that these companies use to try to manipulate people into buying. Sue says, in the 70s, I ate so much KFC, I get ill every time I smell it. Wow. I guess I've eaten my share of it. I've never just been a huge fan of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's been okay. I haven't really eaten any in years. I don't know. I guess it's kind of like, seemed like it was better when I was younger or whatever, but times change, people change. You never do know. They change their recipes and do things real subtly to save money, and then the flavor changes over time. But yeah, that's some crazy stuff, running out of gravy and all of that. Like I said, I believe it's some kind of ploy going on. We've been talking about, Sue, about the censorship and the different things that are going on in social media with them blocking conservatives and trying to shut people down. Let's see, what is that there? No car, no place to get food where I live. Oh, yeah. I could see that. Where you were kind of like on what they call a food island, where you kind of had to go see the colonel. So you did chicken right quite often, huh? Let's see here what's going on. Here's something interesting for you guys. Let's see here. This is via the Daily Mail. And I will let you guys see this here. And let me get it up. Okay, there we go. We can get rid of that. These ads. It says Facebook keeps creepy secret files on the intimate habits of internet users, even if they don't have an account. Here's how to see yours. Facebook routinely gathers data from its 1.4 billion daily active users worldwide. It also uses tracking devices that follow a user's internet activity via third parties. Even if you have never entered the Facebook domain, the company can track you. Facebook account holders are able to download a copy of the file kept on them. The privacy of users tracked via third parties is currently less transparent. Facebook may be tracking every move online, even if you've never been on the site. Not content with monitoring the movements of its own users. Not content, with monitoring the movements of its own users. The largest social network in the world is building secret files on the activities of billions of people. Mark Zuckerberg's company says that it uses this information to target adverts and content based on your preferences, as well as security purposes. Facebook account holders are able to download a copy of the file kept on them, which contains detailed records of their activities while logged in. The privacy of users tracked via third parties is currently less transparent, with no way of checking exactly what Facebook knows about you. Interesting. It's one reason I don't have a Facebook account. Got rid of it a long time ago. Too creepy for me. Too creepy. Let me see what we got here. Rapper. Okay. People need to demand that the removal of these biased liberal teachers who hate on Trump from the schools. Okay, Sue. Have a good night. Yeah, people do need to demand the removal of the liberal. They're not even really liberal. They're leftists. You know, classical liberals basically were just like, leave us alone. You know, we don't bother anybody. We don't want regulation. Just leave us alone. These people are not like that. They are leftists. They are communists. They are socialists. They are cultural Marxists. And they want to take over your world, your speech, your thought. They want to control everything that you do. Classical liberalism is not that. They have basically taken it over. People need to tell the black people that Wakanda is not real. You know, I haven't seen that movie. I've heard that name before. I guess that's supposed to be a mythical country or something, but that doesn't surprise me. You know, my people, I tell you, they sometimes they cease to amaze me. They major on the minors and minor on the majors. Oh, speaking of these teachers, I'll tell you what, here's something that I could definitely go on a rant on, and I probably will. It is epidemic levels of these teachers having sex with the kids. I mean, the fox is in the hen house. We lock these teachers up behind metal detectors and all kinds of doors and surveillance and security, and the teachers are molesting the students. Sometimes right even in the classroom. They're having sex with students in the classroom. They're meeting them at their homes. They're having sex in cars parked down the street from the kids' homes. I mean, it is just getting ridiculous. Why isn't anybody talking about that? That's what I want to know. Why isn't anybody talking about all of these teachers molesting these students? Is it because they're into that themselves? Why aren't the politicians talking about this? I mean, you can get on Google. I mean, just get online and Google or search teachers having sex with students, and you'll find pages. Pages of it. But nobody's doing anything. They're talking about, oh, we're worried about protecting the students. Well, how about protecting them from these perverts, these pedophile teachers, men and women? It's amazing. I mean, here you go. Let me get this up for you guys real quick. Just show you something. There's other stuff that's going on. It's ridiculous here. Sex with students. You see here that I got my search term there. Teachers having sex with students. Here's CBS News just doing a whole piece on it. Married middle school teacher arrested for having sex with 14-year-old student. Former Florida teacher arrested for allegedly having sex with middle school student. Florida middle school teacher accused of having sex giving drugs to student. Just over and over. Married teacher makes students have sex with her for better grades. Just look at this. And some of them are even, gleeful about it. Who's protecting the kids? That's what I want to know. Who's protecting the children? Now, here's one here. I mean, they've got 62 different ones here. So there you go. What's going on in this country? What in the world is happening here? And we got all of this going on and nobody's talking about it. It makes no sense to me. We're worrying about the students. If we're worrying about the students, why isn't anything being done about this? How many of these, students are being molested and accosted, and some of them may be afraid to say anything? These are the ones that are just being caught. How many are doing it and haven't gotten caught? It's a sad state of affairs. Sad state of affairs. But, I guess it's okay. We're not worried about that, we want to help the students walk out and, blame the NRA. We let the students walk out with the teachers that's molesting them, all in unity. And they'll find a way to blame that on Trump too, I guess, I guess he influenced them. But the number to call in is 812-205-2704, 812-205-2704. We're talking about Trump, gun control, censorship, and any other thing you may have on your chest or breast. We've got about 20 minutes left in the stream, so feel free to call in. We've been a little slow on the calls tonight. The chat's been okay, but we'd like to have a little more vocal interaction. So feel free to call. Uh, 3 and 60. I guess that's it. Any thoughts on stocks? Be more specific. What about them? Stocks, the stock market. What are you referring to? Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because when you just said stocks, I'm thinking of the market because it's been going crazy up and down and wild swings. The bump for our stocks, you know, in a way I'm for them, in a way I'm against them because typically to get like an automatic weapon, you have like to have a FFL, federal firearms license to have an automatic weapon, which would entail something like a machine gun or maybe an M16 that you could put on full auto and if the bump stocks is allowing you to shoot those rounds similarly to that, then actually that's kind of a workaround to do the same thing of something that's already being regulated. So in that sense of it, I'd be against it. But at the same time, as a true staunch Second Amendment advocate, I feel that law-abiding citizens ought to be able to have any kind of weapon or any kind of firearm that they want to possess. So I'm kind of torn between it. And so bump stocks would not need to be used on assault rifles. The whole purpose of a bump stock is to allow the weapon to shoot faster. Assault rifle and a assault rifle is a rifle that has the capability to shoot automatic. So you would not need a bump stock on a fully automatic rifle or weapon because you already have full auto. That's the definition of an assault weapon or assault rifle. Is something that can be shot on full auto like a machine gun. That's why to say AR-15s or assault rifles is incorrect because they only by themselves inherently they only go as far as semi-automatic. They are not automatic weapons. Yeah, I agree with you. 3 and 6. I wish I knew how to pronounce that. I mean, it's is it 3 and 6? 3 and 6? I guess it is. But I'm with you. I'm generally against the gun control, except for when it's my gun and I'm in control. Then I like gun control that way. But yeah, I totally agree with you. This is, like I said, all of this is about taking the guns. This is not about the children. They can say that till the cows come home. Okay, 3, that's good. Thank you. But that's true. They can say that till the cows come home. It's just like everything else. The illegals, it's not about caring about the DACA people or the illegals. It's about getting votes. Everything has an ulterior motive. It is not about caring about anybody. These leftists, the only thing they care about is pushing their agenda and what is going to help them to further that. That's the only thing they care about. The people that they use are useful idiots that they claim that they care for. And when I say useful idiots, I mean it in the way that like Vladimir Lenin used the term. People who are actually being used and they don't even know they're being used to help someone else to fulfill their agenda, and they do not have that person's interests at heart. So that's basically the way he coined a useful idiot. So yeah, I believe in freedom. Freedom all the way. I mean, long as your freedom is not enforcing something on someone else, They got it all backwards. They try to claim that, we're doing something to people. No, we've had freedom first. You can't turn it around and say that, you're imposing on people and doing this. No, we've always been free. Yeah. Well, they like schools because schools that's where the innocents are. They got big old announcements that they're gun-free zones. So, hey, it's easy picking. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. That's why they like schools. That's why they said, hey, if we harden those schools and have armed people in these schools, this stuff will drastically reduce. They'll find somewhere else to go. 3, Antifa have already started terrorism. It's not that they've already done it. They've already blown up stuff. They've already threatened people with weapons, even AR-15 type weapons. They've assaulted all kinds of people with rocks, bike locks, bricks. So, they're already terrorists. Like I said, they got all of these kids. So many of them are on these psychotropic drugs. And then they let them play all these video games. All of this violence, it's just a matter of time before somebody blows. And then, like I said earlier, they just sit back and watch them. Every time you look around, unless it's a Muslim terrorist or something, it's always somebody that's had psychotropic drugs. It's always somebody that's had issues and the FBI's been watching them, and then they let them just go ahead and do it. You see it. It happens over and over again. Yeah. And it's psychotropic medication, these SRIs, they have side effects, suicide, anger, rage. I'm going to tell you what, rapper, I've said it a long time ago. They should have stopped Antifa back during the campaigns. They are going to be our biggest problem. Mark my words. Remember this. You heard it here. Just wait till the weather breaks. Wait till we go full on spring. They are going to come back, in a rage. They are not about to back down. They're not going to back down. And you got Obama and Hillary and Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi and Bernie and all of them out there constantly telling them to resist. Resist means attack. That's what it means. In their vernacular, resist means attack. Well, folks, we got about 10 more minutes. If anybody wants to call in, still got a little time. Number's 812-205-2704. Again, that number's 812-205-2704. We need to use rapper every tool in our arsenal against these guys. We need to start locking them up. We need to start hitting these universities in their pocketbooks. We need to start taking away all of these different perks that they're getting from the government. We need to hit them every which way. Yes, we do need laws. In fact, many states do have laws. I know here in Indiana, where I am, there's laws against that. You know, except for like Halloween or something, you can't do that. You know, running around out in public. So, but you know, that tells you right there. You know, if they were really as innocent and loving as they say, why do they have to all run around looking like the Hamburglar? That's right. They did it. They incited all kind of violence at the inauguration, at the presidential inauguration, and ended up all of those people got let loose. They should have gotten time. They should have gotten probation. They should have been fined. There was damage done, you know, but they end up getting slapped on the wrist. These people, that just emboldens them. Oh, yeah. I do remember Evergreen. That's what they do, though. I mean, you watch, mark my words. They're going to come out and they're going to start acting like fools again. And they're going to continue on until finally the National Guard or somebody has to come in on them, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to go away. You're going to have to meet them with force. Because these people are brainwashed. They think they actually are like a religious cult. They actually think that they are on some type of messianic mission to save the world from fascists, when they themselves are the fascists. Yes, Soros is, man, that dude has spent so much money. He can't stop now. He's so far in that he knows eventually they're going to come after him. So he's got to keep this thing going. He knows if they lose, that he's going to wind up going down. That's right. The rapper, you're right. BLM, Pussy Hat Marchers, Never Left Wing groups are all hate groups, just like Antifa. They are. They're a coalition of hate, a coalition of evil. You see videos of people who used to be in these groups, and they said everything was okay till they started questioning anything. Once you don't think like they do, you become an enemy that fast. You know, you cannot think outside of what they tell you to think. That's cultish. And it's starting now all the way down into the grade school level. Remember, folks, they've got your kids, they've got your grandkids, they've got your nieces and your nephews. When you're around your family members, you ought to start questioning and asking them what they're learning in school. You might be shocked. Yeah, 4 more days. That's going to be interesting. The DACA will be out there and Antifa will be out there helping to stir them up. And then the other BLM and everybody else, everybody will be out there stirring each other up. We can only hope that Hillary goes down with them. We can only hope. I tell you what, I have my doubts. I just think that Hillary, they involve so many people in their schemes. There's so many people that are involved that in order to tell on Hillary, it would take them down. They'd probably had to get some of these people, give them some kind of pardon for testimony. But then they'd have to worry about being Arkansided, because I'm sure Hillary and Bill, they got people that can get the job done. When it comes down to being pushed up against the wall and being desperate people do desperate things. And they've done a lot of stuff. Joe Mack says, "You're dead." You've been terminated. Yes, sir. Put the hurting on you. These people mean business. They are hardened international criminals. Yes, sir. Well, folks, it's just about that time. Just about that time. It's been good. And really been good. I've enjoyed you guys. I'd appreciate if you guys could kind of pass the word out so we can get some more interaction. I like it. I enjoy doing this. I'd like to do it maybe twice a week. And like I said, I've got plans. I got some more stuff on my head shortly. It's just that I've had to make some financial adjustments and wasn't able to do some things that I wanted to do this week because I had to take care of regular things. It's called survival, you know. But anyway, it's good. Yes, Joe Mack. Look at old Steph Rich. Robbed. Broad daylight. Robbery. Didn't take the money. Didn't take anything, but he was robbed. Oh, answer anytime. This is all it's about, man. I love ranting. I love rantees. So, yeah. You guys make a note. We'll be back on the regular time again Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you have not hit the bell, please do so, or you will not get the notification. Like I said, I'd like for you guys to, put the word out. And I'm working on doing some more things to make it even more interactive. Thank you, Joe Mack. Joe Mack, my main mod. Man with a plan. Well, folks, I can tell you this. It's been a gas. Look forward to seeing you guys again Monday. I'll be having some more videos coming out here in the next couple days. Until then, be seeing you around. You guys stay out of trouble. And God bless. Good night, everybody.